welcome back to my channel. We're going to be baking a special treat today. My husband's been working a lot of Saturdays, and so on Fridays I've been trying to make them a treat, send it with him to work to kind of just cheer up his day and his co-workers as well. And our treat for today is going to be extra fudgy, or I should say dark chocolate brownies. And the reason I say extra fudgy or dark chocolate is because I am going to be using half Dutch processed cocoa, which is a very, very dark cocoa. I don't like to make it exclusively with that because I think it loses a little bit of the chocolate flavor. It gives it a little bit more bitterness. But when you add it in addition, or I should say, you cut your normal cocoa in half and you replace half of it with the Dutch process, it just gives it a richer, darker flavor. But the regular cocoa keeps it chocolatey, I guess, more of the milk chocolate flavor. And so I guess let's just go ahead and get started. I have all my ingredients laid out here, and I will just give you all of the measurements as we go along. Okay, first of all, I will go over all the ingredients, and then I'll also mention those again as we assemble it. But this way, if you want to cook alongside me, or bake alongside me, I should say, then you'll be able to get all your ingredients together. First of all, you're going to preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and we already have that preheated. You'll have 1 cup of softened butter, 2 cups of granulated sugar, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 4 eggs. Large eggs is what I have. I don't think it matters a lot because we've often used our own home, our farm eggs basically from our hens, and I don't know what size they even are, so it doesn't really matter, I don't think. 1 teaspoon of salt. This is Himalayan pink salt, but what kind of salt you use really doesn't matter. 1/2 cup of cocoa. This is half Dutch process, like I said, and half just normal baking cocoa. By all means, you can use 100% baking cocoa if you'd rather. It really doesn't matter. This just gives it a little bit darker flavor. And 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Now you may notice there's no leavening in this recipe. There's no baking soda, no baking powder or anything. That is intentional. It's a fudge brownie, not a cakey brownie, but it's definitely not like gummy or anything like that. So no worries there. Just the eggs, the amount of eggs in it give it enough of a leavening to where it lightens it just a little bit. And you will need a 9 by 13 baking dish. You don't need to grease it. And then your mixing utensils. I use a whisk, a spoon, and also a spatula for scraping. So let's go ahead and get started. You're going to first whisk up your softened butter just a little bit. You don't need to beat it really. Like, it doesn't really, you don't have to beat it till it's light and fluffy or anything. I just broke it up a little bit. Then we're going to add our sugar. Get that off of there. Basically just mix this until it's cohesive, basically. Hope I'm not jarring my camera. I honestly can't see it. Okay, just as soon as that's combined, we will add our eggs. Oops. Okay, made kind of a mess there. Should have had them pre-cracked. So we're going to whisk these in. I like this recipe because it's pretty simple. Doesn't use It doesn't use a ton of ingredients. And the ingredients that it does use, you should just have right in your pantry. They're all pretty basic stuff. And you don't have to have a mixer or anything. You obviously could mix this like in a KitchenAid or something, but it's definitely not necessary. Okay, as soon as that is smooth, it's gonna, if it looks a little curdled like that, no big deal. It's not a problem. We'll add our vanilla, 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Put that in there. This is where I switch to the spoon. We'll add our flour. You can mix these up together ahead of time, but it's not necessary, or at least I never have. You definitely could if you want. Your flour, your cocoa, and your teaspoon of salt. Make sure there's no lumps. Oops. I'm not the neatest person in the kitchen. Scrape down your bowl. Few lumps of flour. I didn't realize were in my flour. Just make sure we get those smashed. Okay, I think it's pretty thoroughly mixed. Okay, now just spread it, scoop it, spread it into your baking dish. Spread it as evenly as you can. And at this point, or really even before, you could mix chocolate chips or nuts or something like that in if you wanted. Or you could always sprinkle them on top at this point. I think I'm going to frost these, so that's why I'm not putting anything on top. Or I could have actually added nuts to it. I didn't, honestly, wasn't thinking about it really. Wasn't thinking about it, but that would have been good because I have walnuts. That would have been really good. Might be a little bit difficult to spread because it is a bit thick. So just spread it the best you can, as evenly as you can, and pop this in the oven for about 25 minutes, I guess. I've always done a lot of baking on the wood cook stove, and you don't just like put it in there and set a timer and walk off on it. You just stick with it and keep an eye on it. And so I still bake a lot that way. It's hard for me to actually time something and know how long it takes because honestly I just watch it. But it's about 25 minutes until you can stick a knife or a toothpick near the center and it should come out clean. But don't bake it to where, like if it starts getting very firm around the edges, I mean, it should start getting slightly firm around the edges, but still a little bit soft in the middle. You're probably good for a fudgy or brownie. If you want them just a little bit cakier, just bake just a few minutes longer than that. But okay, we're going to get this in the oven for 25 minutes. Okay, it's been like 27 minutes and they are almost done, but the knife did not come out clean. So we're going to give them about 3 to 5 more minutes. Okay, I let these bake a full 30 minutes because baking time really kind of depends on how you like your brownie. You can bake them a little bit longer till a knife stuck in the very center comes out totally clean. Or how I like to do it is do it a little off the side from the center, and don't let the knife be totally clean, like have moist crumbs sticking to it just a little bit, but not like a big blob, especially like batter. And then that means like in the very center it's going to be even moister yet. But then the heat, when you take it out of the oven, the heat will finish cooking them, and they should still be fudgy without being like almost doughy. Some people actually will take them out when there's like a blob stuck on the end of their knife, not necessarily batter, but just like a big chunky blob of very moist crumbs. That would be a very fudgy brownie. And so it really kind of depends on how you like your brownies, and you may have to do a little trial and error to really figure out exactly for your oven what length of time works for you and how you like your brownies. So I'm going to let these cool and then get some frosting put on them. Like I said earlier, you can leave them unfrosted, or you can put a buttercream or a ganache or frosting of your choice on there. So you're free to do whatever you want with them from here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy this recipe. And I guess that'll be enough for now, or that's all for now. So we will see you all later. And until then, take care and God bless.